Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into KoboToolbox. It's this open source platform that's really a powerhouse for data collection, management, and, well, visualization too. If you're involved in research, humanitarian work, or honestly any field where getting good data is critical, this is probably a tool you need to know about.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, over 32,000 nonprofit organizations globally rely on it.
Yeah.
Think about, large-scale disease tracking in remote areas or maybe real-time needs assessments after disaster.
Exactly. Those are the kinds of critical operations it supports.
Really vital stuff.
And KoboToolbox isn't just, a piece of software. It's driven by a core mission, supporting open source data systems for people working right on the front lines.
Front lines of what, specifically?
Well, humanitarian action, development, environmental protection, peace building, human rights. It's about giving the tools to those closest to the challenges so they can understand and tackle them effectively.
And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. For you, our listener, the person who wants to get up to speed quickly but thoroughly, we're offering a shortcut. We're pulling out the most important, maybe even surprising insights about KoboToolbox without, hopefully, getting overwhelming. We've looked at its features, getting started, building forms, offline collection, the upcoming organization's feature, even a little peek under the hood at the tech.
Yeah, we covered quite a bit.
So, ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's start right at the beginning. What is KoboToolbox?
Good question.
At its heart, it's this really versatile open source platform. Collect, manage, visualize data. It's become like a standard tool for so many social impact initiatives worldwide.
And it wasn't just built in some tech lab, right?
No, that's what's interesting. It was actually created by practitioners, people working in these fields, for others facing similar hurdles. That real-world experience, it's baked right into the design.
So it aims to be intuitive, even when conditions are tough.
Exactly. Gathering high-quality data in challenging settings. And here's a really key point. The core functions are free for nonprofits.
That's huge. It removes a major barrier for so many groups doing essential work.
It really is. And to keep it going, KoboToolbox itself operates as a nonprofit. They're sustained through partnerships, revenue from some extra services, grants, donations. It's a model focused on accessibility.
Okay, so let's say you, our listener, are convinced. You want to check it out. What's the very first step?
Creating an account. Now, you've got a few choices here. The most common route is using their public servers. There's a global one and one based in the EU.
Okay.
And this is pretty important for collaboration. You can't directly share projects and data between those two public servers.
Oh, right. So if you're working with a team.
Everyone needs to be on the same server.
Yeah.
You need to decide that upfront based on where your team is, your data storage needs, that kind of thing.
That's a really practical point. Good to know early.
Definitely. Now, beyond the public servers, organizations with maybe more specific needs can opt for private servers. More control.
And there's even an option for installing it yourself.
Yes. For organizations with, say, very strict security needs, or maybe no reliable internet at all, they can install KoboToolbox on their own servers, their own infrastructure.
Okay. Now, setting up the username. Any quirks there?
A few little things. It has to be all lowercase. No spaces, no symbols. Well, underscores are okay.
Underscores are fine. Got it.
It needs to start with a lowercase letter and be between 2 and 30 characters. And don't skip this. You have to activate your account through the confirmation email they send.
Standard stuff, but crucial. Okay, account activated. What next? Probably creating a form.
Exactly. You'll want to get started building your survey. KoboToolbox gives you 4 main ways to do this.
4 ways, okay.
You can build one completely from scratch using their form builder, which is pretty visual. You can use a template from their library, lots of examples there. You can upload an existing XLS form.
XLS form. That's the spreadsheet format, right? Like Excel.
Precisely. Define your form in a spreadsheet. Or, fourth option, you can import a form using a URL, maybe from Google Sheets or Dropbox.
Lots of flexibility there.
Yeah.
And when you first log in, you land on the Projects tab.
Yep, that's your main dashboard. You'll see your deployed forms, the active ones collecting data, your drafts, archived projects, and anything shared with you.
And from there, you can organize, download the XLS form version, clone forms, edit, all the management stuff.
All right there. Now let's talk a bit more about building those forms, the form builder tool. It's designed to be powerful, but also, user-friendly.
Drag and drop interface, you said.
Right. So it's accessible even if you're not a coder.
And the question types. Is it just text and multiple choice?
Oh no, far more. Over 25 different types. You've got your basics, text, numbers, multiple choice, sure. But also things like photos, audio clips, GPS coordinates, even barcode scanning.
Wow. Okay, so qualitative, quantitative.
Yeah.
It covers a lot.
It really does. And what's really useful is the logic you can build in. Skip logic, for instance.
Meaning, if someone answers yes to question 5, they see question 6, but if they answer no, they skip to question 7.
Exactly that. Makes the survey flow better, more relevant. You can also set up calculations, derive new data automatically, and validation rules, which are crucial for data quality. Make sure answers are in the right format, within range, etc.
That prevents a lot of errors downstream. But for really complex forms, you mentioned XLS form.
Right. If you have very intricate skip patterns, complex calculations, or just prefer working in a spreadsheet, XLS form is the way to go. You design it in Excel or Google Sheets, then upload the file.
Could you switch between them? Like start in the form builder and then tweak in XLS form?
You absolutely can. You can download a form built in the Visual Builder as an XLS form file, make your detailed edits, and then upload the revised version. Best of both worlds sometime.
And translations, if you're working internationally.
Super straightforward. You can easily add translations for your form into hundreds of languages. Makes data collection much more inclusive.
Now here's something that sounds useful. The question library.
Oh, yes. This is great for consistency and saving time. You can save questions you use often into your own library. Or you can borrow questions from public collections shared by other KoboToolbox users.
So you can standardize questions across projects or even borrow best practices from the community.
Exactly. Really helps with standardizing data collection.
If someone is going the XLS form route, what's the basic setup in the spreadsheet?
It's pretty structured. Usually you have 3 main sheets or tabs: survey, choices, and optionally settings.
Okay, survey for the questions themselves.
Right. In the survey sheet, you need specific columns. The key ones are type, like text, select tone, integer name, which is a unique code for the question, no spaces, and label, that's the actual question text the user sees.
And choices.
That's for your multiple choice options. It needs a list name column to link the choices back to the right question in the survey sheet. Then name for the internal code of the choice and label for the text the user selects.
Got it. Type, name, label, and survey. List name, label, and choices. Seems logical. Okay, form designed. How do we actually collect the data?
2 main ways. First, the Kobo Collect Android app. Runs on Android phones and tablets.
Okay, Android specific.
Second, web forms. These use a technology called NGOs. They run directly in a web browser on basically any device, laptop, tablet, phone, whatever, has a browser. No app install needed for that one.
So, Kobo Collect app for Android and Key to Web Forms for everything else. What are the key functional differences, though? Why choose one over the other?
Good question. Besides device compatibility, there's how the form looks. Kobo Collect often shows one question at a time, which would be good for focus in the field.
Right.
Web forms often default to showing all questions on one long scrollable page, though you can change that sometimes.
Okay, what about sending the data back?
That's another difference. Web forms generally try to auto-upload data whenever there's internet. Kobo Collect gives you more control. You can set it to upload immediately or save submissions and upload them all later in a batch.
That batch upload sounds really useful if you're in an area with spotty or expensive internet. Save battery too, probably.
Exactly. Conserves battery, manages data costs. Kobo Collect also has some extra tricks like capturing device IDs or SIM info and native barcode scanning.
Which web forms don't have built-in?
Not natively, no. You might be able to type a barcode number in, but not scan directly using the camera usually. Kobo Collect also offers a few more minor appearance tweaks for questions.
But web forms have advantages too.
Yeah, they often have more advanced options for customizing maps within the form and maybe richer text formatting for notes, swings and roundabouts.
But the big one, offline use. Both can handle that. That seems critical.
Absolutely vital, yes. Both Kobo Collect and web forms, if loaded in the browser while online first, store collected data securely on the device.
So if the internet drops out mid-survey, you don't lose anything.
Correct. Kobo Collect waits for you to manually upload later, or uploads when connection returns, depending on settings. Web forms will automatically try uploading saved data once connectivity is back.
But what if you're using Kobo Collect and you're just completely offline for days?
Yeah.
No signal at all. How does that data get back eventually?
Right, extreme cases. 2 main options there. One is using a separate tool called ODK Briefcase.
ODK.
Open Data Kit. Briefcase lets you connect the Android device via USB to a computer and pull the data off securely. Then you upload it from that computer once it has internet.
Okay, so USB transfer, what's the other option?
It's more technical. You can actually install the entire KoboToolbox platform locally, say on a laptop. Then connect the mobile devices directly to that laptop. Using a local Wi-Fi network doesn't need internet, just a local connection.
Wow, okay. So a self-contained system for totally offline environments. That's powerful.
It is, but definitely requires more technical setup.
Now, let's shift gears a bit. Managing projects, managing teams. I hear there's a big new feature coming. Organizations, due around May 2025.
Yes, that's right. This is a pretty significant update, especially for larger teams or institutions using KoboToolbox.
What's the main idea behind it?
It basically provides a central hub for managing both projects and user access. Much better oversight, much smoother collaboration. A key change is project ownership.
How so?
When this feature is active, if you're part of an organization, any new project you create is automatically owned by the organization, not just you individually.
Okay. Centralized ownership.
Exactly. And when you join an organization, your existing projects can be transferred into it too. Consolidates everything.
Makes sense for team continuity. If someone leaves, the projects stay with the org.
Precisely. And within the organization, you have different roles. There's one owner, full control, manages subscriptions, settings, unlimited admins, they can manage projects, users, and unlimited members, they access their account and use the org's quotas.
So admins and the owner can see everything.
Pretty much. They get an organization projects view showing all org-owned projects, plus their own My Projects. Members just see My Projects, their own stuff, and things explicitly shared with them.
Good for controlling access to potentially sensitive data. How do you add people?
Owners and admins can invite people using their KoboToolbox username or just their email address. An email goes out, the invite lasts 14 days.
It can be resent if needed.
Yeah. And when you invite someone, you assign their role, admin or member. Removing users is also straightforward for owners, admins, and revokes their access to org projects and quotas.
Sounds like a much-needed feature for larger-scale deployments. Let's touch on security and flexibility more broadly.
KoboToolbox takes security seriously. It's built with robust standards. Crucially, you own your data. You control who gets access via permissions.
And compliance. Things like GDPR.
Yes, for organizations needing it, especially those using the EU server or private instances, they offer options for full GDPR compliance.
It's not just a rigid system, though, is it? Can it be adapted?
It's quite flexible. Organizations can arrange for custom feature development if they have very specific needs. Setting up secure, standalone servers is an option for sensitive data or data sovereignty rules, and they offer paid, on-demand support for critical projects.
Plus, the interface is multilingual, which helps global teams.
Definitely. Designed to be intuitive across many languages.
It's good to know there's a real team behind this. Who are the folks making it happen?
It's a diverse, fully remote team. Researchers, developers, designers, data specialists, scattered globally. They all seem to share this belief in making high-quality data tools accessible for these key sectors.
And it's not just the core team, right? There's a community aspect.
Absolutely. They have a global network of volunteer ambassadors, passionate users who help others in their local areas, offer training, support.
That's fantastic.
And there's a community council, too. Practitioners from different fields who advise the Kobo team on development priorities, making sure it stays relevant to user needs.
Okay, for our listeners who like the technical details, just briefly, what's under the hood? The software architecture.
So it's built from several open source components working together. There's KPI for form building and the library. KoboCat handles survey deployment, data storage, analysis, and Keto Express powers those slick web forms we talked about. And Kobo Collect is the Android app.
A modular design, like Lego bricks.
Kind of, yeah. Makes it easier to update parts without breaking everything. And these main components are built on other open source tools like Pixform and Open Data Kit. That helps with compatibility in the wider ecosystem.
So for most users, just use the public websites.
Exactly. paf.kobotoolbox.org or eu.kobotoolbox.org. That's the easiest way. No installation needed. The self-install option using Kobo Install from GitHub is really for advanced users or those specific offline situations. Requires server skills.
Right. Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive then. What are the main takeaways for you, our listener, about KoboToolbox?
I'd say it's a really accessible yet powerful open source choice. Key strengths are the intuitive form building, the very flexible data collection online, offline, app, web, and soon, that enhance team management with the organization's feature.
And it's all grounded in that open source philosophy and supporting social good.
Definitely. Plus, it really feels designed by practitioners, for practitioners. It understands the challenges of working in difficult environments.
So it's user-friendly, even when things get complicated on the ground.
That's the goal. If this sounds interesting, the best next step is honestly just to try it. Create a free account, explore. Their documentation is excellent, and the community forum is very active and helpful.
So a final thought for you to consider. Think about the impact that accessible, high-quality data could have in the fields you care about. Tools like KoboToolbox are genuinely empowering organizations worldwide to gather insights and drive change. How might it fit into what you're trying to achieve?